Hiya peoples, and welcome to things that annoy me about Star Trek Fleet Command in November of 2019. Let me start off by saying, November 2019 has been full of some great quality of life updates for the game. In the first week we received patch 8.1, which included major improvements like instant mine respawn, galaxy map info updates, and bug fixes like alliance help requests not showing up, and in-game notices getting stuck. The second week of November saw us getting patch 8.2, which included major updates like ship rebalancing, officer stat improvements, and the station defense changes. This week, we've got patch 8.3, which brought about the much desired feature of warp cancellation. These updates are very welcome and have made the game a lot nicer to play. It is with this idea of continuous improvement that I've created this video to highlight some further things that would make the game better to play. I'd also like to ask that you guys comment below any ideas for things to get better or complaints that you have, because as the saying goes, if you don't ask, you won't receive. This is not a top 10 style list, but just 10 items I could think of, so let's begin. Number 10, the user interface. Okay, let's start with the user interface. In my first video for Star Trek Fleet Command, linked above, I said that compared to other mobile games in this genre, the user interface was much easier to navigate and use. That doesn't mean it's not without its issues though. With a few changes, the user interface would be much better. Firstly, the chat box is way too small, and as a result, you can't see much of what anyone is saying in any of the different chats. Secondly, the mission icon doesn't always go away, especially for the missions where you have to upgrade your ops center or academy or whatever, and it always seems to be stuck on that upgrade operations. You've got no button to move it away, and when a mission completes, it does change to that mission and give you a green icon to close that mission off, but it always seems to revert to the upgrade operations, and it always seems to stay there on the screen. Finally, the view of the playable area is a bit small, in my opinion, and when trying to move my ship around, often the other UI elements get in the way. But how can it be made better? Let's start by enlarging the chat area so that we can see more of the text without having to open the chat window itself. This is useful if you're watching a map for a particular ship or event and then get a PM or notice something in the Alliance chat. To make the chat larger, they need to lower the event, sales, help, GIF icons a little, and then be able to move the chat to the side. But to lower these icons, the home icon needs to be moved down to the right of the shield system, and both the shield system and the galaxy transparencies can be reduced so that there is more game area uninterrupted and they are lined up. On the left hand of the screen, let's change the missions icon to an expandable area that lists either multiple missions or the continuation steps of the last missions you have been working through, similar to the upgrades interface. Finally, top left, move the resources here underneath the player power and position the latinum to the right of the player power. With these slight modifications, the game becomes a bit more playable while allowing you to keep track of conversations during the action. Number 9. Store scrolling. The user interface is not the only issue. Tap a few menu items and you end up in one of the many horizontal scrollers that represent the events, store offers, and resources. I play this game on my phone, my tablet, as well as my PC, and this mechanism is one of the most annoying user experiences I've had. When holding my phone and using my thumbs to navigate most things, forcing me to shift to swiping just seems to disrupt the flow. There also seems to be a lot of screen real estate that is wasted by overly large images which don't respond to being tapped on anyway because you have to press the large green buttons at the bottom of the images to actually get into the item you want. Fortunately, with some focus by the developers on this, the problem can go away. The improvement can be found in the Faction store, where earlier in 2019 a change was made that shifted the interface from the side scroller to a more compact and, in my opinion, friendly vertical scroll interface. I hope the developers can overhaul the other interfaces very soon. Number 8. Retrieving resources from the vault. Related to the problems with the sideways scrolling in the store is the process of retrieving resources from your vault. Many players were delighted when the resource tokens were introduced, and nowadays most events pay out tokens. Even the Swarm Dailies give tokens for most of the reward. The problem arises when it's time to swap the token for resources. Say for example you have 79 Parasteel tokens to trade in, the 1 million type tokens. The predefined buttons down the bottom let you trade in 1, 80 or 320 tokens at level 35. So if you want to use all 79 tokens for the next upgrade, you must sit there and individually click one token at a time. The process is time consuming. You open the resource, click the token button, wait for the confirmation screen, click the button again, and then the scroller takes you back to the beginning of the store all the way to the left. So you scroll to the right again, click the view button, press the token button, wait for the confirmation, press the confirm button, and then reset, and scroll to the right again. This can be especially annoying if you are trying to cash in the 10k dilithium tokens all the way to the right. A far better option would be to replicate the speed up menu. Here you can simply scroll the dot to the number of speed ups you want to use and then hit the use button. If you want to use more than you have, then you spend extra latinum. If this was the process to retrieve resources from the store when doing upgrades, the player would spend far less time jumping through menus and more time playing. Number 7. Ship Blueprints. Once again, ship blueprints suffer from the same sideways scroll mechanism, and the ship pictures all seem a little low in the box where the bottom ships are overlaid by the strength text. During the course of hunting and retrieving loot boxes, often you receive blueprints for ships which are well below your level. As a level 35 hitting a level 38 hostile, I don't want to receive another blueprint for a Kamari. It's just not a useful ship for me to play with. I have hundreds of blueprints clogging up my shipyard. For example, I have 1392 envoy blueprints, which could allow me to build 46 envoys, but the most I can field, if I get to level 39, is 5. What am I ever going to do with all those blueprints? The main idea is to implement a system which allows you to convert the blueprints into some sort of other useful resource. For example, click a button that says Convert Blueprints, select the resource type, drag the ball slider to the desired amount, and perform the conversion at whatever the defined conversion rate is set. This has the benefit of adding more value to hunting higher level hostiles if the conversion rewards scale with the ship type. Want more G3 green crystal? Then hunting more Klingons to get D3 blueprints might help. Number 6. Notices for kills and events. Like the problem I mentioned in number 10, about not being able to see the chat, when you are hunting or doing something in an event, at the top of the screen, notices will appear which have about a 2 to 3 second delay before disappearing. If you're trying to navigate the dailies menu, for example, these notices persist beyond the system galaxy view, impairing your actions. Often the text in them is useful to let you know how well you are progressing through a certain objective, so maybe making the box smaller and lowering it on the screen would solve the problem, as illustrated here. Number 5. Officer levels and sorting. Navigating the different menus in Star Trek Fleet Command can be an experience. Often it can take a long time to get to what you want, which can be especially annoying when you are trying to participate in certain events, or you don't have a lot of time before you need to leave the game for real life. One such situation is when you want to level a character. There are 2 ways to find the character in order to do the level ups. First, you can click in the character and use the arrow keys to the right or left to cycle through, or secondly, you can sort the officers by upgradable and then click on the officers until you find the one that can be leveled up. Sorting by upgradable prioritizes promotable characters and not characters which can be leveled up. The idea here is to add a new sort option called Level Up. This will sort the officers first by if they can be leveled, and then by the actual officer level. That way you can go straight to the officer you want without cycling through any other officer to find them. Number 4. Grade 2 resources. Lower grade resources as rewards, or those that you no longer have a need for after a certain level, are definitely a missed opportunity. Back in beta, if you mined a grade 2 resource, you could refine them into grade 3 raw resources at a fairly reasonable conversion rate. These days, there is no way to get rid of these grade 2 resources unless you want to use them on lower grade ships for whatever reason. As seen here, I've got 22.3 thousand G2 uncommon crystal, 25,000 G2 gas, and 25.7 thousand G2 ore. This, when compared to the G3 resources I actually need, makes me feel like there's a missing game mechanic to enrich G2 resources of any rarity into a higher grade version. A great addition would be either a new structure you can level up in your base, which allows you to enrich resources. Let's call it the resource processor, in a callback to Deep Space Nine's ore processing facilities, and set certain conversion rates for grade 1 to grade 4 resources, so that players have another way of getting those uncommon and rare quality resources they need. Number 3. The events page. Suffering again from the same side-scrolling mechanism, the events page could be broken up into 3 sections: upcoming events, current events, and completed events. This would reduce the amount of scrolling required and make it easier to find events that you completed recently. Keep a history of maybe 2 days of events in the completed tab, and maybe give a forward look of 6 hours in the upcoming events, or maybe a day. Alternatively, get rid of the side scroller altogether and replicate the faction store menu so that more info is accessible quicker. Number 2. Oversized buttons. Button sizes that force the user to scroll to the right on certain devices seems to be one of the UX things that were missed when the developers were implementing some types of menus. I've got a large phone, a tablet, and a PC, and all have the same issue because the buttons are not screen size reactive. Pages like the new bookmarks page, the store page, and the items page all have this same design. It makes sense if you're going to add more tabs to these pages, but there seems to be a lot of wasted real estate on the screen and unneeded scrolling. Once again, the faction store page has solved this issue by turning the horizontal menu into a vertical one on the left-hand side. Number 1. Mining rates and mine sizes. Okay, so as a beta player, I spent many months where mining actually mattered. When the game went live to all on the 1st of November 2018, many on the founder server were disappointed by the mining rates. Digit and Scopely have made improvements to the game by introducing research items to improve the speed of mining, but overall there are some changes which would make mining useful post level 30, where the resource requirements are massive. Firstly, make the mining capacity larger. Currently, G3 resource mines get a max size of 60k. The biggest dilithium mine I've seen in sub-level 50 space is 18k. Even if the actual mining rate did not change, just upping the capacity would make a step in the right direction. Increasing the base mining rate would also help the game in another way. If the base mining rate was increased, that means the player must get online more often to cycle the ship, otherwise they risk being attacked for being overprotected. This would improve mine utilization, as people cycling more often leads to more opportunity to get onto a mine in the first place. But what are your thoughts on these issues? Comment below and let me know anything else you would like to change in the game. Also, please do the usual YouTube stuff and like, subscribe and share. Thanks for watching.